Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ivy League Digital Network. Matt Panto here as we get set for another edition of Around the Ancient Eight. This time we preview the upcoming Ivy League Women's Lacrosse Tournament upcoming this weekend from Princeton, New Jersey. And we are joined by the man that will have the play-by-play call on the Ivy League Digital Network, Brian Seltzer. Brian, an incredibly exciting weekend coming up. First and foremost, thanks for taking a few minutes with us.
What's up, Matt?
Brian, we're all excited for this weekend. What has you excited for this women's lacrosse tournament?
Well, I think, first of all, to be honest with you, the venue is outstanding. Shared field, Class of 52 stadium, a great spot off of Lake Carnegie, right on the edge of Princeton's campus. A real neat, intimate spot to see a lacrosse game. After that, I mean, you look at the way that each team wrapped up its season and some of the bullet point headlines for each of the four programs that are involved. Starting with the top overall seed in Princeton, back at the top of the Ancient Eight for the first time since 2006. The Penn Quakers, ridiculous, a share of an 8th straight Ivy League championship, but also just what type of determination Penn comes into the tournament with, given what happened in the regular season matchup with the Princeton Tigers and how much the Quakers might want to prove. And then I think that you could make the case that Harvard might be the most intriguing team in the whole thing because they're so young and they're now in a stage they haven't experienced before. They've got their goalie back in Kelly Weiss and really rebounded from last year. And then Cornell, you know, they hung tough. They won the games that they were supposed to win this year, and there's something to be said for that.
Princeton taking on Cornell, Penn taking on Harvard. What do you see as the key matchups going into these games, Brian?
Well, Princeton-Cornell, that game, it seemed like it was so huge for Princeton because for a while there, going back to last year, I think it might have been 3 straight games that Princeton lost in overtime, and that was a close matchup towards the end of last year in the regular season against Penn in the Ivy League tournament to the Dartmouth Big Green, some other overtime games earlier this year. So that was a big win for Princeton, I think, psychologically, 10-7, to score 3 goals in overtime, get the draw controls in that overtime period, and really handle Cornell. Lindsay Toppy for the Big Red, as she has throughout the year, a lot of scoring in that game, so she was able to find success. But I think from Cornell's standpoint, they felt like there were some mistakes that they could address going back and watching some film, and they'll look at that. For the Penn Quakers and the Harvard Crimson, that game happened a little while back, and so now a chance with these two teams playing better down the stretch of the regular season, maybe having more of a sense of an identity of what they are. And again, it's like, you know, when you have a young team like Harvard, it's almost, in certain respects, it's like what you don't know, you don't know. And that might be an X factor that, okay, they're on this stage for the first time, but they're a young team that really has a chance to, I think, make a run in this, given the scoring prowess that they've got. When you look at Audrey Todd and, of course, Marissa Romeo, and going up against Penn's defense, I think that that's, in that game, something to look at for sure.
And you touched on it a little bit. What kind of atmosphere do you anticipate Friday, not only Friday, but also Sunday for the championship game as well?
Well, I think that with it being at 52 Stadium, just you would expect that Princeton, from its program standpoint, from its base, I mean, just listen, this is one of the preeminent programs historically in college women's lacrosse, and you've got a coaching icon on the sideline in Chris Saylor, and just now seeing how close they are to really wrapping up and firming up that spot if they can win the tournament, guaranteeing, leaving nothing to chance that spot in the NCAAs and getting back there again. I think that that would be such a great thing for that team and just the anticipation surrounding that. And then, you know, again, from the Penn Quakers, they have been, for the better part of the last decade, the team in the Ivy League that's at the top of the standing, and just what type of purpose they come out with trying to avenge that 9-5 loss in the final month of the regular season.
Brian, thanks so much for a few minutes today. We're looking forward to your call on Friday and Sunday.
All right, man. Thanks so much.
That's Brian Seltzer. He'll have the call on the Ivy League Digital Network all weekend. The 2014 Ivy League Women's Lacrosse Tournament live on the Ivy League Digital Network this weekend. Matt Panto for the Ivy League Digital Network.